get this shot ready. Let's go.
Yo.
Yeah.
What's good, y'all? You already know my G's.
Peace.
You know how we always started off, right? You know how we always started off, y'all. To everybody listening, we always start this shit off with a shot. All right, we're gonna toast it to New York, and we're gonna toast it to the NBA. But New York is the illest state ever. And you hear that beat in the background. Ooh, that's something I might even rhyme to a little bit later, but maybe not tonight. But shout out to the sports, shout out to my niggas shout out to Cash. You already know what it is, baby. Let's have another episode 2 and bang these niggas. Go.
Facts. Salute. Ooh. All right, let's get it. I want to welcome everyone back to Drunk Sports Talk, New York's new #1 sports talk program out here in these internet streets. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you took some time to hang out with us, and we appreciate that. You already know who I am. If you don't get to know me, I'm Johnny Cash, and I got my guys with me, the one and only EDtelevision.
Let's go.
And my brother Q. What's going on, fellas?
Yo, what up, my G?
Everything gravy, baby. You already know. Ready to rock.
Ready to rock.
Yo, I like y'all banners behind, man. Y'all niggas making me look like I'm in a motherfucking hood and shit, man. I'm gonna do it up like y'all sooner or later. But I just like people watching me go get my beer from my fridge.
Yo, that's authentic, bro. I love it.
We're not even gonna talk sports. We're just gonna wrap this joint. Yo, check this out.
We go.
Yo, this is our last episode, man. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We've only been down a week, not even a week, and we're already getting a lot of traction, a lot of growth, which is amazing. Thank you for whoever's supporting us, liking, subscribing. We thank you. If y'all ain't doing it, please wipe your feet on the way in. Hit that like button, hit that sub, and help us grow so we can keep giving y'all the real. Yo, this week. So, actually today has been crazy. A lot of movement going on, a lot of breaking news. I really kind of wanted to start off with the ESPN thing, man. I'll give you guys a little rundown, and then we'll drop our little 2 cents to it. ESPN's been going through some major budget cuts, right? We've been hearing about this for a while. I believe 7,000. They're looking to slash 7,000 jobs and like $5.5 billion off the budget, right? A lot of these people who are getting clipped are your favorite on-air personalities. I'm talking like big dogs, like luminaries of the sports media world, you know?
Yes,
when I came across the story today, I saw it, bug me out. Jalen Rose, Max Kellerman, right? Jeff Van Gundy, Keyshawn Johnson. I'm not sure what's up with J. Will. I know Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max was canceled. I don't know what's up with J. Will's contract. I'm not sure. I got to look more into that, but that show was canceled. Former NHL player Chris Chelios.
Yeah.
Sports Center host Neil Everett, and a slew of others. The couple of names that popped off the page to me was Jeff Van Gundy, Max Kellerman, and Jalen Rose. Right? Let's start with Van Gundy, right? Former Knicks coach, right? We love him. He was assistant coach under Riley. He's been down for a long time. He left, went to Houston. Then he became a color commentator for the NBA. I love this rapport with Mark Jackson.
I love it too.
Right? I think, they had the commentator chemistry and former coach, former player dynamic. Amazing. Yeah. I like Mike Breen on there too. I think he's the balance between Mark Jackson and Mike Breen. Van Gundy always kept it a buck. He criticized the refs, criticized the NBA when he needed to. He didn't soft shoe. He didn't cowtail. He kept it official.
Loved it. I loved it.
I'm gonna go, Ed. Let me go to you first, right? When you first saw this ESPN article, we knew budget cuts were coming, but when you first saw this, what were your first thoughts on this whole thing?
I was surprised. Because like you were just saying, they cut off a lot of guys. They fired a lot of guys that were some of people's favorites. Like you said, Jeff Van Gundy. He was great. Not only I had love for him as the Knicks coach, but it's like he was a real one. He used to call shit out like refs,
Indeed.
Like if somebody double dribbled, a bad foul call, et cetera, et cetera. I was very surprised about that one, and I was surprised about Jalen Rose because Jalen Rose, he was great. I thought he was great. He was a great analyst. He kept it real too. You know, he'll call out, you know, people who's doing dumb shit, and he also put a lot of perspective into a lot of like idiocracy that, you know, a lot of fans like will say, oh yeah, well, I want this person on this team, blah 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 blah, and you know he'll put us in check, you know, and I appreciated his outtakes a lot. Max Kellerman, to touch up on Max Kellerman a little bit, I feel like Max Kellerman, you know, he came in as a boxing guy, so I feel like he was kind of out of his element when they threw him in with Stephen A. Smith.
Really?
You know, but he was fun. He was fun to watch as well.
I disagree, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Q, talk to your boy.
Yeah, man. You know, always got love for Jeff Van Gundy, but the one that's sticking out to me is Max Kellerman, man. That's my guy, man. Like, yo, that dude is like, yo, I know you, I because he was pretty known because he was covering a lot of fights, but homie has knowledge of all sports, bro.
Yeah,
like he stays on his shit, but like, you know, basketball, football, baseball, like he really knows his stuff, and he makes it ill and funky too. And shout out to Max Kellerman because homie did a hip hop video, you know what I mean? Like that just takes him an extra notch. And you know, his show, you know, and his show on ESPN, man, like that was so dope. They were doing, yeah, you know, they were doing, you know, they did what we did. You'll put a little hip hop music in the background, talking statistics and all the latest news. But Max Kellerman was just always that guy, and I was happy to see him and not only in just that boxing world, you know, like now I'm starting to see him talk about all this other stuff that he's so very knowledgeable of, man. Homie not a little idiot on the block, you know what I mean? Now he's not a little white boy trying to rap, you know, like he took his profession, and I feel like he kind of changed it a little bit, man. He probably got a little bit more following now because of the way he did it, you know what I mean? And I always just respected that from Max Kellerman, you know. But damn, that one, you know, because that's breaking news, man. It kind of sucks, you know what I mean? But that's life, man. It's just you don't expect to see something like that from such a big corporation at ESPN, but then it brings people back down to real life that shit can happen to anybody if it can happen to these dudes.
Shit is a business, man. Shit is a business, but you know, we're not in a great economy. But Q, I'm in 100% agreement with you. Ed, I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with you. To some of Q's points, right? Max Kellerman is a very intelligent guy, right? Yeah. If you watched him, I've been fucking with Max since I want to say 06. He used to have a show on ESPN radio. It used to be his show, and then ESPN used to come. Then Stephen A. used to have a radio show on ESPN radio, right? Yeah. And Brandon Tierney with BT was Stephen A.'s co-host. I want to say this about Max. He's very intelligent. I'm gonna be honest with you. He used to smoke that corny ass dude, Stephen A. Smith, on First Take every day. Stephen A. Smith is a clown. Okay, I think Stephen A. not directly has some. He ran him on First Take because he used to smoke all the time.
Yeah, he didn't want him on the show no more. That was
because he was killing him. Yeah, like you said, Max is he knows all the hip hop. He used to bring that flavor to ESPN. Man, he reminds me of Stuart Scott a little bit. Remember how Stuart Scott used to have all the hip hop references and right? That's Max. Max is of that ilk. Max is of that era. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Rest in peace. R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace to Scott, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, to Scott, man.
Like I said, Max used to smoke Stephen A. every single day, to the point where Stephen A. is like, yo, I gotta get him out of here because he's making me look bad. You know what I'm saying? Max thinks logically. He's an Ivy League graduate, Columbia. I liked him when he was with Marcellus Wiley. I don't know if you guys remember that they had that show out in LA or whatever. I used to watch it. It was syndicated. I used to watch it. Yeah. Like you said, Max is a hip hop dude. I'm a boxing guy. You know, Max is a boxing guy. The problem with Max with boxing is a little bit. I don't want to digress too much, but Max worked for ESPN, and there's a narrative that they have to push for their fighters. Everything is political, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
always.
Sometimes Max pushes guys just because he's under Bob Arum and things like that. But overall, his integrity is good. I like Max. I'm disappointed. I think Q.U.E.S.T Smith has something to do with that indirectly because, but I think Max is gonna land on his feet. And we're gonna get into Stephen A. and these guys next week when we do that show we talked about. But
Stephen A. Smith is
terrible. I think. And he's a Queens dude too. I hate to say it, but I think Max will land on his feet. Keyshawn is another guy I really enjoy listening to. He's a football player. He's He's in our age bracket. He knows what time it is.
Yeah,
Jay Williams.
I just got a beef with Keyshawn. I'm not gonna lie.
What's up with
Since he left the Jets, the way he left the Jets,
yeah.
you know, I'm glad he won the Super Bowl.
Went to Tampa Bay. He got his little ring, though.
Yeah,
you know,
respect. But if you remember that Super Bowl,
his handle.
Yeah, you're right. But if you remember that Super Bowl, they didn't play him much. Who's the coach? What's his name?
The dude who just got fired for being a racist. Gruden. Yeah. That was really Tony Dungy's team, but that's another story.
Yeah, true. He built that team.
Right.
And it's sort of like the Steve Kerr situation. Mark Jackson.
Yeah, it's like the Mark Jackson to the Warriors.
Great analogy.
And then this nigga come in and just takes over everything. But I got a beef with him because of that. So one thing to touch up on Max Kellerman. The only thing I like Max Kellerman. Everything you guys said was 100% true. The only thing that used to throw me off of Max Kellerman was his crazy ass outtakes where he said if he had one person to pick to shoot like for the world, he said Iggy Pop instead of Steph Curry. I'm like, you're bugging, bro. Like when he used to say things like that, I know it was like shock value, but I'm like, come on, bro. Like
he had the crazy Tom Brady cliff take. Remember that Tom Brady cliff thing? But that caught up to him. But he was just looking. See, Matt, like I said, he was logical. He was just looking at data before. At the time, there was no quarterback that at quarterbacks at a certain age would historically start to fall off. Brett Favre, Joe Montana, Steve Young, blah blah blah. The list is on and on. So he was taking historical data and kind of applying that to Tom Brady. But Tom Brady's was an outlier because that's Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So
word.
That cliff. The cliff prediction, it didn't happen, and he had egg on his face at that point because everybody was getting on him about that. But another guy I like is Jay Will, and Jay Will. When I first saw Jay Will, right, and people probably gonna get mad when I say this. When I first saw Jay Will, other than him playing ball and getting hurt, got drafted to the Bulls, was a great college player for Duke. I think he won the Player of the Year award. But when he started commentating, I thought. He's giving me a little bit of Uncle Tom vibes, you know what I'm saying, at first. But when Stephen A was riding on Kyrie,
he went hard for Kyrie.
He held it down for Kyrie. And my apologies, Will, if you're watching this, you eventually will watch this if you're not doing it now. But my apologies because I was 100% wrong about you. You kept it official, you kept it real. I was on Kyrie's side. You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally about the whole vaccine. We'll get into that at another time. We don't want to do that. But
word.
Jay Will, I'm a Kyrie guy. A lot of people are probably not gonna like that, but I felt he stood on the square, and I can't be mad at that. Anything before we transition to something else you guys want to chime in on?
Well, I know that I was watching a recent interview with Jay Will. I forgot who was interviewing him, but he kept it a buck. He said that his contract is almost over, and he has a feeling that he ain't gonna come back to ESPN. And he also says that ESPN, we all know this. Every station, everything, there's always a certain narrative to be pushed. And he said that ESPN has his narrative, and he was the type of guy. He always been the type of guy to go against the grain. So that's another thing about all these ESPN cuts. I feel like they're getting everybody out that goes against the grain. What ESPN is trying to do. The only thing too about just for me to, give you guys a chance to talk about these ESPN cuts too is that they cut all these guys, and not to sound like I'm bashing women or none of that, but they keep Malika Andrews, and I feel like she's very toxic. She keeps on bringing up
preach, my brother.
She brings up very negative stuff about players. Everybody's human, people make mistakes. You know what I mean? It's why you keep on bringing these things up? Ain't nobody trying to bring a personal twist into the sports world. There's so much things going on
she's notorious. She's notorious for that. You seen Giannis flipped on her?
Yeah, he just walked out. You know what I mean? Stephen A. Smith went crazy on her on his show.
She does that. She does that shit like she married to every NBA fucking player and shit. When she don't get her way, it's just.
Yeah, and she recently
toxic. So toxic, man. It's just
she's very toxic.
I don't want to talk about it. That shit just kind of that shit don't make any man's blood boil. You know what I mean? And they're gonna allow that, but whatever. And
I know all of us. We all pro girls because we all have baby girls. We all have girls. Girl dads all day. But I feel like she needs to and I don't want to say this it sound disrespectfully or sound like I'm a chauvinistic man, but she need to stay in her lane when it comes to things like that. Like, if you want to
100%.
report things like that, don't do it on a channel like that's for sports. Go work for Fox 5, go work for CBS.
I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah.
If you want to report stuff like that, because they don't really want to hear that in the sports world, to be honest.
She comes across as tearing the male minority athlete down.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it, right? She's a pretty face. She's a beautiful woman.
Great reporter.
Knows her stuff, but she's pro woman. Like, she's like, go join Oprah Winfrey Network or something.
Word.
Like that.
Word.
Somebody said today, go report on Lifetime. There's no disrespect to women. I love women. You know what I'm saying? I'm raised by a woman. I'm married to a great woman. I have daughters, right?
Word up. Same here.
But she's always bringing up. She tried to do Jalen Rose a little funny style.
Yeah.
The other night at the draft, she was bringing up a lot of dirt on I forget
Brandon
name.
Miller. This kid is like 19 years old. Like, come on now. Why
she should have got clipped?
No, but do you guys you guys think that like maybe that's her gimmick and that's why she does that? Because like, let's be honest, you think she would have an impact as she does now being a reporter if she was doing it for only female sports?
Yeah, she want to have a very wide lane.
You know what I mean? You don't think they hired her for a reason?
Like shock value.
I do. Shock value, and I think she's a plant.
They definitely want that. They definitely want that. They definitely want that. And I'm pretty sure she had to bite the bullet and do it. And to be honest, she has to have thick skin because we're not the only ones talking about it. I guarantee you, there's other people who say way worse things to her. Either in her face, behind her back, on air, behind the air, on a microphone, on the basketball court, on the internet, on a fucking social media. You know what I mean? Indeed, so she has to be prepared for all that. But to be honest, man, if she wasn't built to do that type of stuff or even made aware of it, she probably gets a kick out of that shit, man. That's like an abusive relationship when the woman keeps getting beat by the man and just keep coming the fuck back. That's what she likes to do. She likes to keep making these athletes look like they're minuscule, like they're not professional or even good. Like trying to make us seem like less man and more boy. And she gets a kick out of that shit probably. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
Absolutely. And the last thing on her, I think she serves a purpose, like you alluded to, Q. I think she is put there to do certain things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get into this another time, but Stephen A. served the purpose. He was there to tear Colin Kaepernick down. He has a major platform. He was there to tear Kyrie down. Major platform. Every day he's riding him. People listening to that. And after a while, you're conditioning people to not like these people.
Yes.
Malika Andrews, I feel she serves a purpose. She not saying that I don't respect. She sounds like an educated woman, right?
Yes, very.
But
of course,
she seems like she tries to serve an audience that we don't all the way identify with. Do you understand what I'm saying by that? And I don't want to alienate anybody, so we'll leave it at that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But God bless her. And on another note, I think the dopest female sports analyst out there is Joy Taylor, but that's another.
Jason Taylor's sister.
Yeah, Joy Taylor's dope.
That's good girl right
Taylor's
there,
dope. I love Joy Taylor.
She's dope.
But
well as hell.
She's dope. Shout out to Joy Taylor.
Like
let's transition. Let's transition.
Have shots with us. Word.
Facts. We gonna Joy, what's up? Now, we got to talk town business, correct? We got to talk town business, right?
Yo, we wasn't doing that. We wasn't going to be serving our fans if we ain't talking town business. But you don't see the Queen's hat?
100%, right? I see the Queen's hat. I love the Queen's hat. Like I said in the beginning of the show, today was everything was going 150 miles per hour. It was
couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it's too much moving parts to keep up. But what I would like to talk about, we're going to talk about NBA free agency, but I want to set it off with my guy. He's my guy now. You know what I'm saying? At the trade deadline, he wasn't my guy, but he's my guy now. He's proved himself, right? And I'm talking about no other than Josh Hart, right?
Baby Starks Jr.
Right. Yeah.
Baby Starks Jr. Josh Hart today, right? Or yesterday, he opted in. He had a player option, correct?
Yeah.
He opted in to his deal.
Yeah, 12.9 million.
Yeah, I was going to say about this rounded off 13 million, right? That essentially gives the Knicks a little bit of wiggle room to work with. They're probably going to have to dump a little more salary. You know, they're going to try to get off that Fournier deal, right? But they want to use that money. They want to use that mid-level exception to go out and get Golden State Warriors guard / small forward Dante DiVincenzo. By hard opting in, that helped the Knicks. It was a little bit of a team-friendly thing he did. You know what I mean? I think in August he's eligible now to be extended. I think they said 4 years, $82 million. It's a nice bag. 4 years, $82 million.
I'll take it.
He might have left a couple of dollars on the table because I think if he opted out and negotiated from a free agent position, he might have been able to get a couple more dollars. But I think that the Knicks are targeting, right? Everyone thinks that the Knicks are targeting DiVincenzo. I think Hart wants them on there. I think I heard Minnesota might be a player in that game and a couple of other teams that I can't remember off the top of the head. But I think DiVincenzo probably is going to wind up a Knick. I think
most likely
the whole Villanova connection, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart. When you heard Josh Hart opted in, and now you're hearing it's getting real teeth, it's getting real traction in it, right? That DiVincenzo is a major target on the Knicks radar. What do you guys think? Q, I'm gonna go to you first. What do you think about DiVincenzo being like a Knick? It seems like it's gaining some traction, and give me your thoughts on all that.
Well, first off, just it's my guy Hart, man. Like,
hold on, my fault, not to cut you off. Let's take a shot for Josh Hart real quick.
Word.
Shot for Josh Hart.
Take a shot for Josh.
Dog, we won that trade too because we, as much as I love Cam Reddish, we won that trade.
Yeah. Oh, Cam Reddish. We'll talk about that in a minute. Going to Lakers. Shot for Josh Hart, Kellerman, and Jalen Rosen and boys. Salute.
I'll take 2 shots. Fuck it.
Salute.
My bad, Q. Not to cut you off. Talk to your mans and them.
So good, bro. This is drunk sports talk, man. Don't ever mind. 100%. Don't ever apologize for cutting me off for taking a 100%. Shot. Don't ever do that.
All right, no doubt.
But now Hart has heart, and what that's really showing is that he wants to stay a part of this franchise.
Word.
And to be honest, we all Knicks fans right here. We know we don't ever really ever felt that before. It's either people came here for big money or people wanted to, but now we have multiple people that want to choose and stay here and willing to take. This is giving me almost like Tom Brady pay cut vibes, like to build a better team, just to win more chips. Like, fuck it, I'm gonna get paid regardless sooner or later. But I eventually, what they want to do, I don't go just to the NBA just to, obviously we're gonna make some millions. But the main goal, and they're gonna be lying to you if they just went to the NBA to make bread. If you're a winner, you got to the NBA by being a winner because you was better than other people that obviously, you were better than, and the recruiters saw that, colleges saw that, coaches in the NBA saw that, and you don't just go to an NBA team and be like, damn, I can't wait to lose, but hey, on the bright side of the day, I'm getting paid. Nah, man. So him doing that, I gotta really shout him out for doing that, and he definitely deserved that shot. And I feel like, it's putting us in a good place. And if we could get, DiVincenzo over here, that's just one more piece closer to what essentially we're trying to build. Because, like we said in the last episode, we don't need new talent. We just need a new type of flavor, new type of style, and I think, bringing him in, I think, if we didn't bring anybody in this whole off season, bro, people were going to know us like clockwork next year. You think us winning, 50 games is gonna happen again? Nah, man. Like they're gonna be like, oh man, they got the same exact roster. Take the NBA.
We're not sneaking up on nobody this year.
We're
not sneaking nobody this year.
But we definitely got to do that. And I watched some of his highlights, and like I said before, I think the kid is good. I think he just needs a shot. I think he needs a shot, and I think he needs to get more playing time, and I think he just needs to ball out. You can never really see what he can really do until you get the opportunity. But I think he's definitely worth it, and I think if you add him, he'll be a nice little addition, especially like Jalen Brunson throwing him the ball, spreading out the floor. You know, I think
Indeed.
we're gonna be in a good shape.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know, the thing I love
Ed,
about
what do you bring? What do you got to say about DiVincenzo?
DiVincenzo or Hart.
Oh, your thoughts on Josh Hart signing the team friendly, deal, or doing the team a little bit of a solid, and also DiVincenzo, he's not going to be a starter, but being a part of this rotation. What are your thoughts on that?
All right, so I'll first start with Hart. I'll say
Yeah.
that, like, I was saying we won that trade because we weren't playing Cam, and Josh Hart, he's one of the best undersized rebounders in the game. He defends multiple positions. He's a facilitator and he finishes at the rim. You know what I mean? For being an undersized player, he averaged what? He averaged 7.8 in the season, 7.4 rebounds in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like he
good.
gets
That's
it.
great for a guard. 100%.
Yeah, since he played how many games? He played?
Yeah.
How many games he played for the Knicks? He played 25 games for the Knicks since he got traded, and he shot 58% from the field and 51 from three. And that was great for us. We needed that kind of dog. We needed that. I fuck around and I call him Baby Starks Jr. because that's what he reminds me.
And he
got the number.
Didn't we win like 8 in a row when he came over to the Knicks or something like that? If I'm not bugging,
we won like 17-5. The rest of the
season. We went 17-5, right? As soon as he that new young blood, man. That's what we need. DiVincenzo coming off the bench.
Yeah, and
DiVincenzo help us succeed.
DiVincenzo had a great season too. Like, he averaged 9 points. He shot what? He shot 30,
coming off the bench.
Yeah, he shot 39% from 3-point. We need that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with Vincenzo, he has that connection already with Josh Hart and Brunson. And that's one thing I want to touch on too. Have you noticed that a lot of former college teammates are pairing up together? Like I see now with the Villanova Wildcats coming in here to the Knicks. Then you see the two Kentucky boys over there in Sacramento. Like I'm liking that. Like, I feel like players should have done
chemistry.
That a long time ago. Yes.
Yeah.
Come play together. You guys played in the same college. Come together.
Indeed.
That chemistry, you guys already know each other. That builds championship character. And I love that Vincenzo's being recruited by the Knicks because, like we said in the last episode, people sleep on Vincenzo. He won the MOP. Years before, Josh Hart and Brunson won with the Villanova Wildcats too. So imagine 3 Villanova Wildcats that have good rapport with each other. It's like us. Who gonna beat us? No one. Who gonna beat them? You never know.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I agree 100%. And I think he's a dog. I think he's got some dog in him. And I think he just, to me, from looking at him, because obviously I don't watch a ton of Golden State games other than the ones that's on national TV. But I think he can ball. You know what I mean? I wanted to run some
NBA champion. He NBA champion. He got hurt during that playoff run. Remember, he won with Milwaukee.
100%. So let's hope we get DiVincenzo, and we're gonna make some other moves. But what I wanted to talk. Yeah, we haven't made no moves yet. But I wanted to ask you. We got, like I said in the beginning of the show, we got a lot of good feedback from the show that we did on Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to my man Chris Lambright, my man Lambs, and shout out to my man Fatty J, right? I had posted the take we did on Chris Paul, I'm bugging out. PG posted the PG clip, right? Now I got a little backlash from that. A lot of people were saying there's 2 schools of thought on that, right? There's, like I was telling you before the show started,
about the PG take.
Yeah, there's the impatient Knick fans, such as myself can be sometimes, who just want to.
That's every Knick fan.
Yeah,
we've been starving for so long. We want the big splash, sexy free agent, and then there's the school that just wants to grow, wants the young guys to progress. I'm gonna say I'm in between that, right? They don't want to spend too much cap money. They're worried. I understand. We had Allen Houston. We have had a lot of bad contracts throughout the years, right? That tied us up salary cap wise, right?
Joakim Noah,
right? We've been handicapped for a while, right? But my take on this was this is my take on the whole thing. And I told you this before, Ed. We were the final 4 in the East. We were the last 4 teams, part of the last 4 teams standing in the East, right?
10 games away from winning it all.
Indeed, 10 games away from winning it all, right? That tells me we're not only building, the future is here now. You know what I mean? This is not like we're not 10 years away.
Mm-mm.
We're knocking on the door, right?
Yes.
And I even believe that had things gone slightly different with Miami, because we had a lot of leads. We had a lot of half-court leads where I think we were up by 21 game and 15 the next game.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe we lost a little bit of mental focus. Maybe Tibbs didn't make the right adjustments. But I really believe we should have won that Miami series. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially Miami.
Right.
One game in Miami.
I believe we're a piece or two away from making some real noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another point is, you figure Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, and Julius Randle are all on team-friendly deals right now. Jalen Brunson, underpaid. We didn't know how good he was, but he in 2-3 years, all these guys, well, we know Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, we'll see what RJ does if he improves, are going to be sniffing for max and super max money, right?
Yeah,
That's going to create a lot of problems at that point to go out and get a big fish.
Mm-hmm.
I think the time is now. I think PG will fit in there. You've heard something about James Harden. Before you guys respond, I want to play this clip by Ian Begley, who was on SNY today, right? And I want to tell me what you guys thoughts on, what you think about what I said. Here we go.
Back to this question of the Knicks' patient approach. When do we get into the realm of the Knicks being too patient?
I don't know if we're there this summer. I think you could justify running it back and adding a DiVincenzo with a subsequent trade to open up a rotation spot for DiVincenzo, because this team won 47 games last year, won a playoff series, exceeded almost everyone's expectations. I think you can say, hey, we're right to run it back here. We want to see what this group can do based on internal development and adding a player like DiVincenzo. So I don't think you're there yet this summer, but let's say this coming year you run it back, Knicks backslide a little bit, then the heat will be on the front office, just like it was the year that they struggled following their first playoff appearance. The heat was on for them to improve off of that bad season in 2021, 2022. They did that. They improved. So I think you'd be in that situation again where it would be time for them to make a big move. With regards to them making a big move this summer, two things. One, Quentin Grimes, I think, would be the first player, one of the first players, near the top of the list for any GM talking to the Knicks about a big-time trade. I'm sure that any team would seek him. Would the Knicks part with him? I don't know. They obviously did not last summer in those Donovan Mitchell trade talks. The other thing.
That was Ian Begley talking about, should the Knicks make a big move? Should they run it back? It puts more pressure on them if they run it back next season. We need results. What's your take on Ian Begley? Ed, I'm gonna go to you, guy.
I think, we were touching this up in the first episode, in our inaugural episode. The time is now. The time is now. Like you guys were saying earlier, we got these guys under decent contracts. The time is now. Why don't we take a swing? You know what I mean? I feel like we should just take a swing, add another piece. I always say, I love RJ. I went to his draft and stuff like that, so he can get drafted and everything. But we move RJ and we get a big fish. That's a big improvement, because we know Randall's our big dog. We know Jalen Brunson, big dog. That's the dog. That's the Don Dada for the Knicks right now. You know what I mean? That's the
Jefe.
El Jefe. You know what I mean? That's a Q.U.E.S.T, straight bucket. For the Knicks, that's a Q.U.E.S.T, man.
Right.
And I feel like we need a change. We just need a change. Be honest, if we run it back with this team, what's the same result? We're gonna get bounced in the second round. Who
we
knows?
might even backslide.
Exactly, we might even backslide. Who knows? We made it with the team we have without Jalen. We went to the 4th seed. This year we passed expectations, won 47 games, went to the second round. Who knows if you're gonna do that again if we run it back with the same team? We need to make a change. It's like you said last week, Cash. We need a certified bucket. We need a certified bucket, man. We need a Q.U.E.S.T out here, man. We need somebody who got a who's wet like Shaq,
Indeed. No doubt.
Like Drake says, wet like I'm Shaq. You know what I mean? We need somebody that's just gonna take over when a person like Julius Randle is having a bad game, or when Jalen Brunson is off. We need somebody. We need somebody like that.
100%. Quest, are you in the school of wait, let the young guys see if they develop into, bona fide all-stars, or do you think we should go out and get that that sexy free agent who's going to be able to get us that much closer to, a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends. Like what person are you talking? Like what young person on the Knicks right now are you talking about? We need to wait for. Because if you're talking about R.J. Barrett, I think we're damn near at our brink of waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much longer as a Knicks fan we can keep waiting for him to keep getting better and just hoping. Because what we've been seeing and we talked about last episode, R.J. Barrett is improving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great.
R.J. Barrett. I mean, Julius Randle's improving.
Mm-hmm.
R.J. Barrett, man, he's still looking a little stuck. And then Josh Hart went there to play defense, and he's over here finishing his layups, going hard to the. He reminded me when I was 60 pounds lighter playing ball in the park. Just driving at everybody when he got a chance. Or just passing it off. And how much longer? Like do we want to really give a person who's about to be in the league for 5 years? More years, because to be honest, it doesn't really take that long to become a superstar.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't take. It really doesn't take if it takes you 8-9 years to become a superstar, then that means at that point of your career, you're only going to be a superstar for about 4 more years, and then after that, you're going back to where the fuck you started at. Let's keep it a buck.
Shit, I've drank to that. Word up.
Let's take a shot at the New York Knicks. Making big moves this year, man. Come on. Leon Rose, Worldwide West.
What the fuck are you making us wait for, bro? Make this.
We gotta do some. We gotta do some.
Now.
Word up, salute.
My fault. I already took my shot before y'all. I'm gonna touch up. I'm gonna touch up on some news that I just got right now. Not to go too much off topic.
Breaking news.
One of my favorite Knicks. Even though we declined his option, one of my favorite Knicks. Favorite players of this recent generation has officially signed with the Memphis Grizzlies. Derrick Rose has officially signed with the Memphis Grizzlies on a multi-year deal. So Derrick Rose is officially not coming back to the Knicks, unfortunately.
Okay. I always thought that maybe Rose would kind of retire as a Knick. Not that he's a true Knick; he's more a Bull than anything. Yeah. I knew he was on the Timberwolves for a hot second, right? But I thought he would kind of maybe be an assistant coach into Tibbs, because I know that's one of Tibbs' guys. But salute to Derrick Rose, man. He came here and he did his thing. I'm not mad at him. So salute to Derrick Rose. It's interesting what he's gonna do on Memphis. I don't see him getting that much playing time, but he's probably a locker guy, a veteran guy.
Maybe that Ja's out these 25 games. He's gonna probably get some time. But when Ja come back, I don't know where he's gonna fit. It's cool to see him in Memphis again, because that's where he went to college. He was a Memphis Tiger. But it's cool to see him. But I hated to see him go, because everybody was killing him his first stint with the Knicks. But people forget he averaged 18 points with the Knicks that first year. That first year he got traded over.
Killing it.
A little bit of controversy.
Yeah, a lot. Because he disappeared. He was going through some mental health issues, and that happens. We all go through crazy mental health issues. But when he showed up on the court, he balled out. You know what I mean? He fucking balled out. And that's what I always loved about D Rose. I remember the first time I saw D Rose was when he played for Simeon High School out there in Chi-Town. You know what I mean? I'm like, this kid is a generational talent. When he became a Bull, played for his hometown team, he killed it. So when he got traded to the Knicks and was playing alongside Melo and Porzingis, Porzingis, that we used to call him, I was like, yo, this team is it right here. But they never mounted.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately.
Absolutely. Let's get to the big fish. What do y'all think? Let's get to the big fish.
Sir, the shark's in the water.
Yo, let's get to the big fish. All right, so look, let's start off with a guy I go back and forth on. Some days I like him, some days, James Harden, right?
Mm-hmm.
He opts into his deal, right? Many people thought he was going to opt out and negotiate or try to drum up some type of interest as a free agent, right? I think the problem with that was there wasn't a big market for James Harden. I don't think the market was as big as he thought it was, right? Because a lot of teams don't have cap space. There's only a couple out there that really do, right? Yeah. So it was a good move. He opts in, right? He helps Daryl Morey out on one hand, right? Because that's his guy, right?
Yeah.
From Houston, right? He helps Daryl Morey out.
It's like his right hand.
And then he gives himself a chance to get traded to a contender. right? As long as the salaries match up and everything, financially works, I think that was a very smart move, right? The first two names I've heard, I was Zero Dark Dirty today, so I didn't hear as much. But the first two names I heard were the Clippers and the Knicks, right?
We don't need them.
First, the Knicks. No, stop that. Stop. I don't even really believe that's true. Ed, you brought up the Clippers is interesting. I don't know if there's enough balls on the Clippers to go around if he goes over there with Paul George, Kawhi, and him, with himself. And I think Eric Gordon just got released.
Yeah,
that freed up some salary cap money. So they look like they might be in play for him. I say that to say this. You brought up something when it first happened yesterday, Ed, that you were kind of thinking maybe a three-way type of trade.
Three-way trade. Right? Yeah, three-way trade, because I don't see a big three. I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize.
No, you go. Good.
I don't see a big three of Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi. I don't see how that's working. And then, I've been hearing through the channels that they really are going to bring back Russell Westbrook. So where does that leave the other? If you bring in a Harden with Russell, Kawhi, Kawhi ain't going a damn place. He ain't going nowhere. He's staying there. So Paul George is the guy that they're gonna be like, you know what? Let's ship him off. So I was thinking I was thinking a three-way trade between Knicks, Philly, and Clippers. That we send RJ to Philly, we get PG, and they get James Harden. That's just my dream scenario that I concocted in my mind.
What do I sign?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's
what do I sign?
If I was a GM, I'll pull that trade.
I don't know. What do you think about him going to Miami, Q? I'm hearing that as well.
Harden?
Yeah, Pat Riley. He let Strus go. Right, Strus walked out the door.
Vincent left.
Gabe Vincent walked out the door. Pat Riley's cooking. We're either gonna see Dame. I think we're either gonna see Dame Lillard. I possibly.
There's traction on Dame Lillard. There's traction on Dame Lillard right now.
Dame Lillard, and I wouldn't be surprised if Harden popped up there too. They need another bucket like we do. What's your take on Harden? I don't think Harden is a winning player, but that's my opinion.
He disappears in the playoffs.
Yeah, he runs away when shit's no good. He ran out of Brooklyn. He ran out of Houston. Now he's running out of Philly. Q, what's your take on James Harden, and where do you think he might end up in when all the cards are done being shuffled?
Damn, that's what's crazy, man. That shit's like the Oklahoma City effect.
Oof.
Between him, KD, and Russell Westbrook, it's just like, damn. It's always. I feel like every season, everybody's trying to get on Family Feud to see like what team they're gonna be on next. But I could see him going. Pat Riley's a G. I could see him going there. I do not see Damian Lillard going to Miami. I just don't. I feel like him and Jimmy Butler are not gonna mesh well. I really do, man, because I guarantee. And then especially when it comes to playoff time. Because when it comes to playoff time, and granted, if they're gonna get Damian Lillard, they're gonna lose more than just Max Strus, Gabe Martin. They're gonna lose a little bit more than that. It's not gonna be an even trade. Like, they ain't no even trade just to get Damian Lillard. That dude's damn near probably one of the top 5 best point guards in the league right now.
And shooters,
and shooters, which is crazy. So they're gonna lose shooters. So whatever shooters that Miami Heat want to give up, I'll take them niggas on the Knicks.
Well, Strus went to Cleveland already. I wanted Strus. He was on my Christmas list.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent
and Gabe Vincent left, but. It's just.
You said Gabe.
I just don't. Game on, but I just don't see that happening. And for James Harden, I could see that being more realistic thing. Because James Harden, what's he's giving you? He's giving you probably like 12, 13 assists a game. He can get people in the right direction. But bro, I still want James Harden, the James Harden that can score a bucket. What happened to the Houston Rockets, James Harden?
Yeah.
I want that step back James Harden. I'll even take the 6-man Oklahoma City James Harden. I'll take that James Harden. Like that James Harden is gone and left. And I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know what's going on with him and Embiid, but if it can't work out between a point guard and a center, something is very wrong.
And that's one thing too. Like he played a little bit out of his element because he's a shooting guard. And,
I was getting ready to say that. Good point.
Yeah, and he played point guard.
Exactly.
He played what? He played this year 58 games with Philly, and he averaged.
He can
21,
dish though.
10,
He
and
can
6.
dish. He's been when he was on the Nets, he was dishing. Not to cut you off.
Even with Philly, he played 58 games with Philly and averaged 10.7 in the season, and he averaged what? I got it here. He averaged eight assists in the playoffs. 28 and 6. So he shows that when he's on the court and he's healthy, he's a baller. But the thing about James Harden, why I don't want him on the Knicks or whatever, is that he disappears when the lights are bright.
He's the A-Rod of basketball, in my opinion. Remember how A-Rod used to disappear when them lights got super bright? And I like A-Rod. Shout out to A-Rod. No disrespect. I don't think he's a winning player, man. He didn't win in Houston. He had Dwight Howard. He had Chris Paul. He had help me out here. Who else he had?
He was 2 games away from the finals.
Right. He's had KD. He's had Russell Westbrook. He's had a plethora of all NBA All-Stars, man.
Supporting cast. Yes.
Right. So I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, I'm thankful. I don't want him on the Knicks. I don't see him going to the Knicks. But I will say this: I don't know who James Harden is because I believe game 1 or 2 against the Celtics, he dropped a 40-piece on them.
Yeah,
and the step back was looking crisp, and the crossover was looking good, and he looked spry. And then there's games that he has 9 and maybe 14 assists. I still think he has a lot of value. I don't think he's not a scrub by any stretch of the imagination.
No, he's not.
No.
You know what I mean?
He's not a bona fide like your man Stephen A.
I don't know where he is. I think on Houston he can go there and average 45 with the young boys if he wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't know where he fits in with other. I just don't know. I think Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, I just don't see that as a good move. But they do want to make a splash because that window's closing on them. You know what I mean? So
I just don't see him coming to the Knicks. If it's already questionable in the air that RJ can't even perform when the lights is there, you telling me we're gonna settle for 2 people who might not be there when the lights is bright?
You know what
I mean? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like you wouldn't do it. Like we don't. I think we don't need that. I love James Harden. He has a dope ass game. He kind of changed it a little bit too with the Euro step. Like nobody was doing any of that. He definitely changed it a lot.
Facts.
And he was doing a lot of different things. I just feel like I'm not even sure what type of team
James Harden was a problem. Yeah,
he was a
problem.
But then I hated the way he was cooking motherfuckers.
Yeah, but he was the one who but that because he had to score.
He had to.
See, like when he's on a team that doesn't need him to score, it's different. I feel like it's almost to the fact where his ego has to do with it too, because that's the reason he left OKC. Like you telling me, I'm so competitive. If I was James Harden on OKC when KD, Russell Westbrook was there, bro, I'm staying because that means the next year if we just did me coming off the bench, that means we have a big 3 by mistake. We have a big 3 by mistake. We're gonna win at least 2 championships.
Yeah,
but they all separated, and like it's just crazy how people just can't get together and just mesh, and it's just like but that's the way of the sports.
Right.
That's just how it is, and athletes is. But that's why I feel like he wouldn't succeed being on the Knicks. He's gonna succeed. He's already succeeded in life. And on other teams, it's just I don't feel like he's going to mesh well with these guys. I think if we really wanted somebody who will be a little bit better for us in our playing style currently, I think it's going to be PG-13.
PG. The thing that scares me about Harden is that the man has requested a trade from 3 teams in the last 2.5 years.
Forced his way out. Requested a trade is nice, saying it nicely.
Exactly.
Forced his way out.
Exactly. I'm being polite, but he forced his way out of 3 teams in the last 2.5 years.
Facts.
Like, come on, bro. Like, get your mind right. And then Q said a great point. He could have been one of the greatest 6-mans ever in OKC, but he wanted the bright lights. He got the bright lights.
And he wanted the bag.
Yeah, he wanted the bag. He wanted the bright lights. He wanted to be that guy and didn't do nothing with it. Like, my man was 2 wins away from beating like one of the hardest Golden State teams ever and didn't get the job done. Didn't that game 7, they went a horrendous 5 for 27 or something like that.
CP was hurt to give him a little bit of to defend him slightly, CP was hurt that game.
When is CP not hurt? Like
When is CP not?
I love
Absolutely.
CP, but when is
Absolutely.
CP not hurt? Like
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yo, but when is he not hurt?
Mhm.
In the playoffs.
In the
He's
playoffs.
always hurt in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Man. Like,
What do you guys? Yo, Q, what do you think? Now that we listen, speaking of CP, I want to go to you, Q, on this one, right? This is old news, about a week or so old, but when CP got traded to
the Wizards.
The Wizards, yeah. I got people in here bugging out right now. I apologize. When CP traded to the Wizards from Phoenix, right? In a turn, he got shipped out to Golden State, right?
yeah.
I started scratching my head. I'm saying to myself, part of me thought he would end up on the Lakers, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. I thought on the Lakers, they're a little bit older now. AD, LeBron, they got a couple of young pieces too, but AD and LeBron are the two centerpieces, the cornerstones of that franchise, right? CP walks the ball up, right? CP plays at a slower pace. I thought he'd be a perfect fit there. He's a distributor. He's a little bit older now. Golden State, like I said, Golden State, they're more of an up-tempo team, a lot of three-point shooting. He's more of a mid-range guy. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. He's obviously going to come off the bench, probably back up Steph. What did you think when he went to Golden State? What's his role going to be in Golden State? And does that change the dynamic of him, of the Golden State Warriors? Does that improve them, or do they stay where they are? Q,
You want to hit this up first?
I think with Chris Paul, I've been watching a lot of, for some reason, I don't know why. I just seen a lot of Chris Paul interviews recently, and yo, he's just like a really family guy and oriented person. Like cares like that. Like that's what I get from him. That dude's just gonna go to the Warriors, and he's coming off the bench. You know, when Stephon Curry's tired, like what's he gonna do? He's gonna still collect his bag. He's feeding his family. Like I don't really think that's gonna like affect his feelings and ego at this time.
His family,
like I know,
been good for a long time.
Oh, of course, and this is why I feel like he feels like maybe he feels two ways. He feels like, hey, look, maybe I do need to stop in, because he's always been like somebody who needed to be dependent on.
Word.
But it's hard to just depend on just a point guard. You know, like it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's very hard. It's almost damn near impossible. I really can't remember any point except Allen Iverson. I think he's the only point guard who ever like the whole team, 76ers depended on him, got them to the finals, and that's it. But like that's it.
Todd McCullough.
But where do you think it puts the what do you think is Golden State's play on this? Like, you know, they just re-signed Draymond Green to a huge bag. We all knew that was going to happen, right? They wasn't going to let Draymond Green go. He's a Hall of Famer.
Draymond signed a 4-year,
cornerstone of that franchise. But where does they got rid of Jordan Poole, right?
Mm-hmm.
He obviously had to get that out of there because of the dynamic between him and Draymond. But
Draymond knocked it.
I don't see that as an improvement. I see that as a lateral move almost.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, but if I'm the Warriors, I feel like if I'm the Warriors, it's only because, you know, obviously the Warriors don't have no faith in anybody coming off the bench, especially point guards coming off the bench when Steph Curry's sitting down or Klay Thompson, for anybody to move the ball. Mm-hmm. You know, CP could do that. Yes. CP could dish it around. He could give you that veteran knowledge. Yes. Yo, it could go a lot of ways. Maybe they just getting him here just to pay him off and teach these guys. Yes. You know, they do
veteran
still.
Knowledge, though, they're a championship team, though.
Yeah,
like,
but they haven't.
So who's gonna give you knowledge, man? Draymond Green don't give you knowledge. He just gets mad at you and punches you in the face.
Word. And then you know,
these are savvy veterans, all of them. Klay.
Yeah. But the thing is about what you just said. The thing is that last year, even though they were coming off fresh off of winning the championship, they didn't have nobody coming off the bench that be like, yo, we could trust these guys to take us, you know, over the hump. So CP3 is a guy that could facilitate the team off the bench. Even if they go small ball, imagine a lineup of CP3 at point guard, Curry at the shooting, Klay at the 3. Kuminga at the 4 or Looney at the 4 and Draymond
that's my guy,
at the 5. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's a mean small ball team. Like who's gonna stop that? That is. You know. So CP3 brings that experience off the bench for them. That could be like, you know what? We didn't have this. The Golden State didn't have this last year, so he could facilitate that bench team. And I give shout outs to Chris Paul for that one stint he had with OKC. I thought he was going to have an abysmal year that year, and he took that team to the playoffs. And
that's when I knew,
and they almost won their first round matchup. I forgot who they played off the top.
But they played like 10 games, right?
Yeah, he played like
I think they played like 10 games.
And I forgot who they played in their first round matchup in the playoffs. And he almost beat the OKC with him. They almost beat that whoever they played. I forgot, like I said, off the top.
Yeah, I remember. I thought he was gonna mail it in that year. I said, "Oh, he's over there. He doesn't want to be over there."
Yeah,
but what I remember
like
from that, but I remember from that is him. That's when I really started buying into the whole point guard thing, and he makes people better. Even though he hasn't won a championship yet, I don't know if he's the point guard, but he definitely makes people better. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he really helped his game out. I feel like the year after CP left there, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander became a bona fide superstar, right?
He was I agree.
Took off. I'm dying for that boy to come to the Knicks. Like even when I play 2K, I put that boy on the Knicks. That's the first trade I do. SGA to the Knicks. And you know what?
Let's take a shot for CP. Hold up.
Word up. Before I take a shot, you know what? Let's take a shot.
I can't front on my nigga CP. And let's take a shot for Cliff too. Cliff Paul, and we take them both for Chris and Cliff.
That's it. This shot. Let's go.
The thing I'm mad at the Suns because the Suns were nobody. You know, even though they had a great run in the bubble, but when CP3 came over there, you could tell CP3 was the guy that took him over the hump. To let him go because now you got KD. I felt like that was fucked up. I felt like that was fucked up in my opinion because he should have been on the Suns team. Yeah. Him, KD, and Booker, they were fine. They just had to get rid of Ayton. I don't feel like even with Bradley Beal now on the team without Chris Paul, I don't see Bradley Beal fitting with that team.
They're a little thin too off the bench. They've given up that depth. That's what you do when you give up. When you a lot of the times when you opt to go a big three, right? You give up that depth off the bench. Mikal Bridges, I thought that was a big time loss for Phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wait, they signed. Michael, Mikal Bridges. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the other one
for the KD trade and Cam Johnson.
You need that bench
and I think to Brooklyn.
Yeah, you definitely need that bench. I think the Heat.
I thought they were young bona fide kids on the
Heat. You know what I mean? Like the Heat came in at what? The Heat finished off in 8th place, went to the finals.
Not even. They were playing
10th, right? 10th. They were 10th place.
They lost 10th place.
Went to the playoffs.
Yeah, and they lost their first game.
That's all their bench. You know, I'm not taking nothing away from obviously. You know what I mean? Gabe and Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? But Bam Adebayo. But bro, when you got shooters coming off the bench and people shooting like how they shot against the Knicks, it was disgusting. I was watching it. I wanted to jump out my window. I'm like, they just making everything, and as soon as they play the next team, missing everything. I'm like, all right, I see how it is. I see how it is.
Yeah, at first, like obviously we know their names and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, who is this guy? Like, he not built this way. Like that Gabe, game 1 and game 2, Gabe and Strauss and I forgot who else. Martin. They were just going off on the Knicks. I'm like, who are these guys, bro? Who are these guys? Like these are just guys that just be there. They just be there. And against the Knicks, they just went off. I'm like, why? Why do these fucking cabrones have to go on the Knicks?
Absolutely.
Because they disappeared. I mean, the only person that balled out of those three I mentioned for Miami, like in the finals or in the Eastern Conference Finals, was Martin. Martin was the only guy.
Martin did his thing.
Because the other two guys disappeared.
What do you guys think about Dame? What's the situation? What's up with Dame Lillard, man? What do you think about Dame Lillard? Is he moving? Is he staying? I know he says publicly that he wants to stay in Portland, but you're hearing all this fodder and all this, back channel, communication with the media that he possibly could be moving to Miami. You hear Portland. It's like a game of chicken almost. You hear Portland saying that they want to keep him. They want him to be a trailblazer for life. They just signed Scoot Henderson. I'm trying to figure out how does that work? They're both pretty much the same position. They didn't need another backcourt guy. Jeremy Grant just resigned. You sent me that earlier.
Yes, sir.
Where do you see Where do you see Dame ending up? Is he staying in Portland? Is he going to Miami? Is there another team that we're not aware of that could possibly be in play? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I see a growing traction right now through the social media that looks like him and Winslow, Justice Winslow, could go to Miami. Those two guys to go to Miami. And one thing is, I'm looking at right now the roster that Portland has. Portland don't got the roster to keep him there. I know one of his dream scenarios was to bring Draymond Green over. They did one move that he wanted. They re-signed Jeremy Grant, but they didn't get Draymond Green. And I'm looking at their roster. Come on now, you got Kevin Knox, you got Nazir Little, you got guys that I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like Cam Reddish left. You know, like really, you only have Anthony. You only have Anthony Simmons, Matthias Thybulle. Who else? Justin Winslow, he's a scrub. Drew Eubanks and Scoot Henderson. Who do you got? Who do you got?
I think Scoot's going to be a baller, but I don't think that's not nearly enough.
Nah, when you know what? When I felt bad for Scoot when they asked him that question during the draft, and they said, "Oh, talk to Dame, convince Dame to stay." It kind of reminded me when they did the same thing to Colin Sexton to make LeBron stay. And LeBron said, "I'm out. I'm out, dude. I'm out." So maybe Damian is built a different way because he's been very loyal to that Blazers team.
Facts.
But I feel like even though he leaves and goes to Miami, that'll be better pastures for him. Even though I hate Miami,
indeed,
with a passion. Sorry for being so loud, but
okay, he's staying with the Trailblazers. Damian is staying with the Trailblazers forever lose. I don't want that nigga on the East Coast.
Yes. You know what I mean? Stay in the West.
I don't want him in Miami, man. Pat Riley's scaring me because if all these dudes walked out the door, that's a lot of money that walked out the door. So they're gonna be able to maneuver. Pat Riley, I hate him. I respect him. I hate him because you know the whole Knicks deal. Fuck Pat Riley, indeed. Dame on Miami is gonna be a big problem, man. Let's run down some of the free agents. What do we got here? Some of note. Chris Middleton resigned. He opted out, resigned back with the Bucks. I kind of expected that. He's an injury-prone player, a little bit older, but he's the number 2 puncher on that team. I think that's a good signing by them. They're gonna run it back, I believe, like that. They, contrary to what people believe, well, actually, my nephew, because he talks a lot of crap. Giannis getting hurt, Giannis getting hurt was to me why only reason the Heat beat them. That wasn't gonna happen. Any thoughts on that?
On who? On Chris Middleton?
Chris Middleton, yeah.
I felt like that was a big move because he was a big piece of the championship run.
Indeed.
And you know he had a bad season. He only played 33 games. You know, but he averaged 15 points in those 33 games. But in the playoffs, he came back and he was the Chris Middleton that we all know.
Yes.
To be, you know, he averaged 23. He had 6 assists and 6 rebounds, 46% from the field, 40% from 3. So you could tell they're going to need him. You know what I mean? So with him re-signing those 3 years, you could tell that Giannis ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Giannis ain't going nowhere as much as he's the big fish for next year, and he's been under the Knicks radar forever.
Yeah.
That's another pool that we're going to keep this team together.
Caris LeVert re-signed with Cleveland. I like that. I like LeVert. I liked him ever since he was a net. I think he's a bucket. You saw him against the Knicks. New
York's
he can create his own shot. He can get to the rack. Caris LeVert get busy. Who else we got? We got before I get to Kyrie, I want to get to Kyrie, but I want to just kind of clean up everything. Strus, Cleveland. Like I said, I wanted him. He was on the Knicks. I think that's like you said earlier. Cleveland's bulking up a little some with the shooting. Strus is a sharpshooter for real. I think that was a good move for them. Cam Johnson. Okay,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go.
A guy that I really wanted to come to the Knicks was Shake Middleton from Philly, and he wound up signing with the Timberwolves.
We talked about him last episode. No doubt.
And he goes on to sign with the Timberwolves for 2-year, $10 million deal. And I'm like, damn, we could have given him that.
What are the Timberwolves doing?
Yeah, I'm like, they're growing traction for what?
They're all over the place.
Yeah, they are. It's like we said last episode. They give 3 centers high max contracts, and just the 3 centers alone, they're worth $443 million. Just the 3 centers alone. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Danny Ainge fleeced them out of a King's Ranch.
Yo, they're gonna be playing. They're gonna have 4 centers. Like they're gonna have 5 centers as a starting lineup.
Yeah, and then another favorite to touch on the free agency. Another Nick favorite that we were looking at was Seth Curry, and Seth Curry winds up signing a 2-year deal with the Mavericks. So that's another guy we got off the table that we want.
What do you? Since you brought up the Mavericks, you know, I'm getting my segue game right. Since you brought up, shout out to my man Elio, he taught me how to do that on Driver John. My segue game right. Speaking of the Mavericks, Kyrie signs a big deal with them, right? There was speculation. Was Kyrie talking to Phoenix? Was he talking to the Heat? There was a bunch, you know, hot stuff. Right? Yeah, exactly. He signs back with them.
3-year deal for $126 million.
A lot of money. What do you think about that? What do you think about Kyrie and Luka? Forget about the ancillary pieces right now. That's important, obviously. You got to put shooters around them. You got to build around them. But just the dynamic of Kyrie and Luka, can you do something with them? No, they're talented as you can even believe, right?
Buckets,
yes or no?
Certified buckets, but
both of them certified buckets.
I thought so. And I disagree. I think it could happen. The only reason I didn't think it was going to happen when I saw that sign, when I saw that signing happen, was because of some comments that Luka made. You know, like and Luka was saying some shit like, "Hey, man, you know, like if Kyrie would have passed the ball, or you know," and when you have that now. Like now,
did he say that? I didn't hear that. I missed that. He said that.
No, yeah, right. Yo, Ed, I'm not lying, right? Yeah, he said that, right?
No, I believe. As
a matter of fact, I know exactly the game he said that after. In the
playoffs you're talking about, right?
No,
I mean,
it was a game that I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all watched the highlights. It was a game that they kept on passing each other the ball for the last second shot.
You go, I go. Yeah,
exactly. So they couldn't decide who's going to get the last minute shot, and that's why I felt from the beginning, because I'm a big Luka guy. I'm a big Luka guy.
Are you?
I'm big on Luka. That's my guy right there. I love Luka.
We're gonna unpack that, but guys,
you know, and that's why I feel why it's not gonna work. In my opinion, it's not gonna work. I just feel like those two guys, they demand to control the ball. It goes through them offensively, you know. So I feel like it's just not gonna work. In my opinion,
I think it could, but it's gonna, like, in 30 games you're not gonna figure it out. You know, and I think that's all like Kyrie had. So in the off season, and Kyrie know how to ball. So I find it very hard to Kyrie sign this just to get bread, but he'd also be doing just to be like, fuck everybody, I'm getting my paper and I'm still gonna make the Mavericks suck. Like that'll be some funny ass shit. But I find it hard. I find it hard for him to do that now, and I'm pretty sure Luka has a really strong relationship with Mark Cuban. And that's how this team was built around. Like Mark Cuban did it. He brought him in here. I feel like they had to sit these gentlemen into a room. They had to figure some shit out. You know, and they got to. 30 games is not enough. Now, whether or not...
He only played 20 games with the Mavs.
Oh, 20 games. That's
not enough time to develop chemistry.
You know, and it's not. But I feel like if he's willing to sign this deal, then that speaks to Kyrie saying, hey, you know, he has to change his game style to accommodate Luka.
But you think he's willing to do that?
Luka, either or has to happen. Either Luka's going to accommodate Kyrie,
you know, like you think Luka's going to change his style.
But they're both going to have to do it because they both can't have the ball.
Problem as well.
Defensively,
I think they're both defensively deficient. I think the problem with Luka and Kyrie is obviously, like you guys said, they're both ball dominant. Right, the two stars in the team are both ball dominant. They rely on having the ball in their hands 90% of the time. Right. I like Luka, but Luka is on the clock, so to speak, as far as the superstars. I think Luka's on the clock. I think Joel Embiid is definitely on the clock now. And I'm talking about the clock in terms of, you know, how they used to ride LeBron in his first 7 years. Like, yo, when we gonna win this championship? We didn't forget about you, Luka. We haven't forgot about you. Embiid, and there's a host full of others. I think it could work. They're probably going to add a couple of shooters around them, I would think.
They ain't got nobody right now.
They got nobody, but
right now they signed Seth Curry, and
there you go, a shooter.
Yeah, but, they signed Steph Curry, and I forgot. Well, they re-signed Kyrie.
Yeah,
Who else they got?
and they just signed him right now. Okay, so yeah, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they signed Steph Curry. They signed Steph Curry to 2 years, 2-year deal. 2-year deal. They signed Steph.
That's another one. We talk about Max Strus going to Cleveland. I want a Seth Curry, man. Like,
yeah, me too.
Not to keep going back to the Knicks, but what we doing? You know what I mean?
Exactly. But, we haven't made no fucking moves.
Yeah, they haven't made a move. We're all the shooters that at least I said it, even if we didn't get the sexy free agent, at least we had to get some shooters.
Yeah. What the fuck is taking so long?
Indeed. I think Draymond. We touched on Draymond a little bit. We knew that was gonna happen. Van Vliet is on the move. Who else? We got
on the move right
Lakers,
now.
Lakers, Cam Reddish. I like that. About to sign Austin Reeves. They got another. What's the other kid they got?
They signed Cam Reddish for what, 2-year deal. They re-signed Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, I like
3-year deal, 51.
I like that.
They let go of what's his name? Dennis Schroeder.
Mm-hmm.
They let go of Dennis Schroeder. But who else they signed? So
I think they're beefing up, man. I like Austin Reeves as a baller. But
where's Austin Reeves gonna go? Because it's not, if he doesn't go to the Lakers, I heard a lot of talk that he might go to the Spurs.
I can't see them letting Austin Reeves walk out the door because I think he's that guy once AD and LeBron retire. I'm bullish on Austin Reeves, 100%.
He's that guy. I love that guy's game.
When they brought D'Lo in, I think they thought that D'Lo was going to be the third option. Austin Reeves actually wound up being the third option, and I think he could even be the Robin, the second option on a championship team.
And he ended up his game in the playoffs. Like, he went 16 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 46% from the field goal, 44 from the three. He upped his game in the playoffs.
Yeah, they got Vanderbilt. I like that. They just got who else?
They let
Gabe Vincent, right?
They got Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent.
Mo Bamba go.
I like what the Lakers are doing right now. The Lakers are beefing up.
Yeah, they let my man Mo Bamba go. Harlem's own right there.
They did. I think. Listen, Lakers were 13th. They were in 13th place at one time. In the scheme. They wound up getting to the conference finals. They beat Steph Curry, which I felt was vital for LeBron to win that game, man.
Vital.
Legacy-wise, right? You know what I'm saying? You can't let Steph just beat up on you all the time. I think if Steph had beat them in that series, that semifinals, I think that might have dropped LeBron down a slot. I think that game was vital.
Solidified him as a better player than LeBron.
Mm-hmm. They're beefing up their bench. They put some scoring in there. They got, I think, Cam Reddish. Like, I'm bullish on Cam Reddish. I don't know how much run he's going to get over there, but I think if you get Cam Reddish in that rotation moving around, I think that's a big improvement. And I think that they were in every game with Denver, if you guys remember, in the conference finals. They were in every game. Jokic was killing, but like if you pull up AD stats right now in those conference finals, AD was balling too.
He was killing them. They couldn't stop him.
I think with him every game.
Mm-hmm. And every game.
Damn near like half the series. I think he scored over 30 points.
Yeah, and then every game was close. Like, the Lakers didn't lose a game by like 10 or more. They didn't. They hardly lost it. It was like basically like 7 to 8 points the most.
It was just Jokic's time, in my opinion. I just think that sometimes it's a nigga's time. Pardon,
he deserves it. Shout out to the Joker, man. I love his game. I love his game.
Yeah. Well, when it was Giannis's time, it was Giannis's time. This is Joker's time. You know, ain't nobody really thought the Bucks was always a great team, but did we really ever think, like, you know what I mean, that they were ever gonna win it? You know, like they haven't won it in the last like 60 years or something like that.
Yeah.
It was like 40 plus years.
50 years
because they won in 71.
Yeah, indeed.
That's like 52 years, B.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of moving pieces. We're not even close to being done yet. NBA is gonna dominate the headlines.
Man.
I mean, for a while now. For all our listeners, we're gonna get into football. Not to cut you off, we're gonna get into football very soon. Football is not bubbling right now because the NBA hot stove is popping right now. But we are gonna get into football. we also are going to be, like I said, we're going to be taking calls very soon. We're going to be live very soon in the chat.
Baseball, all of that, but
right,
now,
we're gonna. We here, man. We're not going anywhere. Before we get out of here, we're gonna touch on a little bit of NFL news. Couple of NFL players were suspended for online sports betting or sports betting. Colts cornerback Isaiah Rodgers, right, and then also the Colts defensive end Rashad Berry.
Yeah.
Free agent Demetrius.
Now I don't mean to cut you off. Just continue, but I just wanted to. So I didn't fully read the article. So now did they get suspended for just betting in general, or they got just suspending because they got caught betting on other NFL games during the season?
Well, they're gonna get a 4-year suspension, the whole year.
This coming on the heels of Calvin Ridley last year. So a couple other players. One more, I think.
Titans offensive tackle Nicholas.
Yeah, Titans. Yeah, Petit Ferrer. Yeah.
And another free agent, Demetrius Taylor.
Right? Yeah. Now, my question to you guys is, sports betting is legal, right? Like, obviously, you betting on your team is conflict of interest, right? Because then you can start doing things to alter the game and so on and so forth. Do you think they should have been suspended? Because I don't believe they were betting on their own team, right? I read the article briefly, but
well, you never know. The thing is, I'm gonna touch up on this is that we were talking about this earlier, Cash, when we spoke on the phone earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a new scapegoat for the NFL to discipline players, because before it was all about the weed. Everything was all weed when it comes to the NFL players. Now that they finally legalized that they're gonna fall back on that. Now they gotta pick another thing. They gotta bully these players for another thing. So I don't think none of these players, Pete Rose did the whole Pete Rose thing, but I just feel like it's bullshit. I just feel like they're just piggybacking on something else, because like you said, sports betting is legal now in many states.
It's just against NFL policy. That's really why they got suspended.
And I feel like
Roger Goodell, he's a disciplinarian. You know that.
Roger Goodell. That's why I miss Paul Tagliabue, man. Paul Tagliabue.
I feel like
real nigga.
I feel like I don't feel like they're just trying to discipline them. I feel like they're trying to I feel like the NFL, like we all know off the NFL, the NFL has been a big thing when we always thought games were fixed.
Word.
Now, I think this is their attempt. Now that sports betting
Arian Foster came out last year and said the games were fixed. Do you remember? Did you guys remember when he said that?
Yes.
Now I think this is their way of saying they're not fixed. Now we're penalizing these guys for betting against the games, regardless if they're their own team or no team. Like, how many games have we seen in the past, years since we've been alive that we saw a fucking player that stopped 1 yard and damn, bro, that dude could have definitely ran an extra yard. Why did he do that? Damn, man, why did that quarterback throw that ball? Like, we can get into so many plays because I love football, but I feel like it's a little bit deeper than this. Now, if they're gonna start, like, the weed was one thing that I think that was more disciplinary. I feel like this is more like, sports betting is legal, man. There was a big time in baseball where they thought the games was fixed because it's easy for an umpire to call strikes, balls, and safes and not safes and outs, and the same thing with umpires and judges in football. Like, are we seeing that same effect?
Agreed. No, I agree 100%. That was a very good point, though.
Yes,
I didn't think about that. That was an interesting perspective on that. Yeah. We'll get into that at a later time. I definitely wanted to touch on that somewhat because I feel that's I thought it had some breaking news coming.
Yeah, I thought I had breaking news too.
It's so crazy right now. It's
too much. It's too much.
It's just one of those days. It's just one of those days. It's like, I know we're touching up on football, but as NBA free agency has been such a frenzy that they've already reached 1.5 billion already wasted, like money guaranteed on these players. Already 1.5 billion.
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted to say.
Day one, most day on ever on day one.
Before we get out of here, man, because we gave y'all a good amount of time, and Let's talk a little bit of hip hop. Let's talk a little bit of hip hop. Pusha T. Right, it's over my hip hop heads. Whoever not a hip hop head, y'all can click off right now.
Yeah,
but all my
word.
hip hop heads right now. Pusha T, Jim Jones.
Out in the park.
Let's take a shot. Let's take a shot for Pusha and Jim, real quick, because
I'll take a shot for Pusha, not Jim. Even though Jim from New York, but Jim, he already lost that battle already.
you think Jim's getting smoked? I like Jim. Jim with him, man. I think Pusha's a better rapper than Jim, 100%.
But I give shout out.
Pusha's on the clock. We ain't heard no new Pusha. You on the clock, Push?
But the thing is, I give
taking a shot of what? What's going on? Take a shot.
Ready here to rap battles. Salud.
I got my shot here. Salud, rap battle.
So they still doing rap battles? Wow. So what? Pusha T is gonna be battle rapping.
So Pusha T,
Jim Jones.
You didn't hear about what happened?
Pusha T basically dissed Jim Jones.
Oh my god!
Pusha T
I heard about the diss. I heard about the diss from
Jim
Jones.
Break it down.
Pharrell's show. Because Pharrell's he's running
the shit in Paris. Yeah,
yes, where he's running now, Louis Vuitton. Where he running now?
Yeah, one of them fashion covers.
Yeah, one of them fashion.
Yeah, I'm a grimy Carhartt Timbo nigga. Go ahead.
Yeah, word. You know what I mean? Strictly Tim boots and white tees. You know. But anyway, he dissed him during that Pharrell show, and then Jim Jones got back. But Jim Jones, I give credit for Jim Jones for stepping up to Pusha T. Jim Jones,
I respect that.
Jim Jones has never been that kind of guy. You know what I mean?
As far as what? Lyrically
sound. You know,
I will agree with you, but Jim has gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah, of course.
I like the last couple of Jim albums. They've been hard. I think Pusha's nicer than him, but hey, you got to prove it, man. He came out with a couple of subliminal bars. Jim dropped the whole joint on him. Push you on the clock.
I don't feel like Push got to go too hard because Push defeated the top guy of this game. Like, if we control the game, if we control the game, it'll be way much different. Like, we wouldn't say Drake is
top guy of the game. Drake is moist. No disrespect.
Exactly, yo. It's like my man. I felt like Common killed him with that one bar. You ain't wait nobody, nigga. You can't let you ride.
I like Drake though. I think
too.
Drake can rap.
He make good
100%,
music.
Yeah.
He make music. He's a better R&B guy than a rap guy to me.
He can rap too. Let's not. No. I can't let you front on him like that. I just said he's moist, so but.
Moist.
He's not rapping.
He's a moisty nap.
He's more. He's got that moist, that moist flow going on. But
I can't. The thing is with me when it comes to hip hop, I can't listen to Drake as a hip hop sense. He can rap. No. He can rap, but he's not hip hop to me.
We're talking bars and hooks. Yeah.
He's not hip hop.
At one point, Drake was hip hop, but then you know what I mean. But that was very early in his career. You couldn't deny it. He was giving you some good music that was making you bob your head. And
Drake.
But then everybody figured out who he was, he got exposed, and he had to change his style. He ain't dumb, he ain't dumb. If he wanted to stay relevant, he can't keep rapping like a hippity hopper rapper and still maintain his image. You know what I mean? But as opposed for Jim Jones and Pusha T, and I love hip hop too. Now is this versus gonna? I'm super hip hop. I believe hip hop.
You are hip hop.
Now is this versus gonna be like?
No verses.
It's not verses. They're just going at each other.
Okay, so let me going at each other.
Okay.
Because that's what I was gonna say. Because I feel like.
Let me give you the backstory, though. Let me give you the backstory.
Let me
give you the backstory.
A quick synopsis.
Okay, so Jim Jones, I forgot on what venue they asked Jim Jones if Pusha T is a top 50 artist of all time in hip hop. Right now, Jim was basically shitting all over him. He's not a top artist. Yeah, he can rap, but he's probably rapping about shit he never did, so on and so forth, blah blah blah. Right. Now, the underlying shit that we're not seeing to this is that Drake, like we just said, Pusha smoked Drake. Drake brought Dipset out at the Apollo not too long ago. Drake pays a lot of homage. That's what I like about Drake. He pays homage to Wu. He pays homage to, so Jim and them have a relationship with Drake.
Yeah,
I think he was fucking with Push on the strength of Drake shit. You know what I'm saying? But he was basically shitting on him, saying he's not a top 50 rapper. Who wants to dress like Drake? Who wants to dress like Push? He's not influential, and he was just shitting all over him. Push came back subliminally about a couple weeks later with a couple of ill bars. It didn't really say Jim's name. Jim jumped out the window. Jim tried to get out in front of it, preemptive, right?
Yeah.
We're still waiting on his response. I don't know. You question. Go listen to the Jim Jones shit. It's kind of hard. He's saying a lot of shit about Malice because the shit that Push was rapping on that he said it's a couple of subliminal bars was he had his brother Malice on it. You know, Malice.
He became a Christian rapper.
Yeah,
he's another. Yeah, he's you know, he's another. Yeah, he's the Clips version of Mace.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, but
word.
I like the Clips. They that joint is fire. I don't know if y'all heard it. That joint is fire.
Which one? The Jim
anyway. No, the shit that Malice and Push was rapping on. That shit was fire. Beat was fire. Everything was fire. We're waiting on Push. Jim came out with the joint. He was in the middle of Harlem. He had the microphone coming down from the sky, and he was
great
rapping.
presentation.
I respect
great presentation.
and listen, Push no pushover. So we're gonna see what happens, man. It's good to see. We haven't had a battle in a minute. It's good to see.
It's good to see some competitiveness because because if it's gonna come down to just whoever could just rap better, or you know, then it's just gonna be, you know, I'm a fan of Pusha to a certain extent. Like, to be honest, man, like them niggas, like Pusha T is like, nah, Push is ill, but like,
ill.
There's no but.
Nigga,
Ill.
He ain't that ill. Like,
no, he's that.
No, you don't think so, Q?
Yeah, he's that ill.
Man. He's ill, bro.
You're bugging, nigga. That nigga's that ill.
Yeah, he's ill, bro. Like, he washed up Drake. He washed up Drake. That Adidon diss.
Yeah,
he washed Drake.
Yeah, he washed that. Joe Budden watched Drake too back in the days, but we're not gonna get into that.
We're not gonna get into that.
Drunk Sports Talk, New York's new #1 sports talk program on these internet streets. Your favorite podcasters. Let's stop fronting. You come in my house, you hit the like button and you hit the subscribe button, man. That's only etiquette. All you sports shows out there, I'm subscribed to all of y'all. Show some love.
We ain't ready. Make sure y'all
we're not
follow
going
us.
anywhere. We're here to stay. We're just getting started. This is our second show. Second show.
Two, nigga.
But we appreciate those who did show love, and we appreciate those who are going to show love.
Facts.
As usual, I was saucy at the end of last week. I'm saucy now.
Sports Talk.
Get up out of here.
Got Drunk Sports Talk. You already know it.
Sports Talk. I start off strong and then I end
limp.
That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole format of the show. Yo, I wanted someone to take us out of here with a toast. Who gonna do it? Let me get my last shot.
Ed, you gotta bring us out. Ed, you gotta bring us out. I bring it in. You bring it out. Let's go, baby.
Ed, do it for the city. Ed, do it for the city.
All right.
Do it for the city. New York City's on your back and then your background.
Show
the background. Yo, because yo, get Ghost on them real quick. You want
me to go Ghost Dini?
Yeah, go Ghost Dini. Yeah, go Ghost Dini real quick.
Get my roll back. Let me get my roll.
My rap tastes like the rap game is like ZD.
All right, we out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
How's it go?
All right,
let's get a toast.
Let's get a spot for the toast. This one is for New York City, all day, every day. We bleed orange and blue skies. This is the second episode of Drunk Sports Talk. Shout outs to many, many, many more, and to our future co-following. We're gonna fuck with y'all if y'all fuck with us. You know what I mean? We fuck with the city all day, every day. Ain't nobody gonna be more realer than us. From Queens to the Bronx, all day, every day. Shout out to my brothers. One love.
Damn right. Yeah, baby. We in the streets.
We outside.
All day. We outside.
Peace.
It's like